In Capital News tonight, Tanzania to host Africa's Food System Forum in 2023. Incidents of gender-based violence in the country started to decline. And in sports, Croatia to play Argentina tonight in the Qatar World Cup semi-finals. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. First, the national news. President Samia Suluhu Hassan has announced that Tanzania has agreed to host a major international summit next year that will bring together top leaders, thinkers and implementers in African food and agriculture. She made the statement at a high-level meeting hosted by the Alliance for a Green Revolution in Africa, AGRA, on the sidelines of the U.S.-Africa Leaders Summit in Washington, D.C.
Tanzania has been undergoing agricultural transformation since its independence in 1961. Even during that period, the focus was to overcome food system challenges, and in this regard, food system transformation has remained a top development agenda in Tanzania for the entire period. The government, under my leadership, has once again elevated the food systems and agriculture agenda to top priority in achieving economic growth and development. Our commitment is visible in several areas. One, a strong political commitment to the Malabo Declaration and CAADP, including the commitments to allocate at least 10% of public expenditure to agriculture, sustainable annual agricultural GDP growth of at least 6%, create job opportunities for at least 30% of the youth in agricultural value chains, and boost intra-Africa trade in agricultural commodities and services. Number two is increasing financial resources to agriculture. And in the fiscal year 2022-23, the government, my government, has nearly quadrupled its allocation of financial resources to agriculture, allocating $411.2 compared to $126.7 allocated in the year before, 2021-2022.
Today, Your Excellency, on behalf of the AGRF partners, I would like to congratulate Tanzania for winning the bid to host the AGRF, renamed Africa's Food Systems Forum 2023. We would like to thank you for your continued leadership on our food systems transformation in Tanzania and across the continent, and your sincere commitment to further champion this agenda with the AGRF Partners Group next year as the 2023 Forum host. The Africa's Food System Forum 2023 will continue to build on the outcomes of the recently concluded event in Kigali, Rwanda, to move forward Africa's food system transformation and continue to help African countries and the continent make continuous progress to achieve the visions set in the Malabo Declaration and related Comprehensive African Agricultural Development Program, the Sustainable Development Goals, and Africa's Agenda 2063. Beyond this, the forum will also forge a common African position on climate change ahead of COP28 next year, and will partner with governments and other stakeholders as we define game-changing solutions towards a food-secure Africa and food systems that deliver for people, planet, and prosperity.
Now, Inspector General of Police Camillio Sombora has said a total of 23,739 people were victims of gender violence during the period of January to October this year, compared to 25,579 people during the same period last year. IGP Camillio Sombora made the statement during the opening of a meeting with executives of the gender desks from regions in mainland Tanzania and Zanzibar.
Takwimu zinaonyesha katika kipindi cha Januari hadi Oktoba mwaka wa 2022 jumla ya watu 23,739 walifanyiwa ukatili wa kijinsia.
Statistics shows that a period of between January to October 2022, a total of 23,739 people were abused, comparing to 25,579 for 2021, which is a reduction of almost 3.7%. Sexual violence for children for the period of January to October 2022, a total of 9,537 cases were reported, comparing to 9,749 cases for 2021, which is a reduction of 2.5%. From this data, this shows that there is still work to be done. Hopefully, from this meeting, you should be able to come up with solutions of combating the menace. 25 males who have the bleeding disorder known as hemophilia have started to undergo circumcision carried out by specialists from Muhimbili National Hospital and Kenyatta National Hospital at a special 5-day camp at Muhimbili Hospital for the first time in the country.
Ndo wale ambao akiumia damu inaweza kutoka kwa muda mrefu.
Yesterday we managed to conduct 5 surgeries, and today we shall do 5 surgeries, so that by 16th of December all 25 people will have been operated on. And said too, many people are not aware of the problem because there are 2 cases. Some are severe and some are not.
Hawajui kama wana hilo tatizo kwa sababu hemophilia kuna wale ambao wana severe.
Let's pay attention on quality of these classrooms. Regardless of the demand, let's not forget that only quality classrooms are needed. All leaders must inspect and monitor the exercise closely.
Kama alivyosema mkurugenzi, ni wito wetu kwamba Watanzania huu ugonjwa upo na huu ugonjwa unapata mataifa yote.
Moving on, the task force formed by the government of Zanzibar to evaluate the education system in the Isles has completed its report, which revealed that the education system has flaws which have contributed to the low performance of primary and secondary schools.
Kwa hili ni tatizo kubwa sana. Tatizo ni kutokugawa vizuri.
The problem is dividing well the number of teachers and adhering to special demands in building teachers. Also, teachers have the weakness of education training. This is caused by lack of teachers training institution in Zanzibar.
Kwamba haya ni maagizo ya serikali na serikali inapotoa agizo lake ni kuwa tayari imeshajipanga kutekeleza.
These are government directives. Do not have fear on what has been brought to you, because they are implementable. People should know these revolutions cannot be done overnight. It is a gradual process.
Haya yatatekelezwa.
Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa has launched MSS Dairy Factory in Nsimbo District Council, Katavi region, which has the capacity to produce 10,000 liters of milk an hour. Speaking at the occasion, Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa called on livestock keepers near the factory to sell milk to the factory so as to increase their incomes.
Serikali pamoja na mipango ilionayo ambayo itawaita wafugaji na mkutano mkubwa wa wadau wa mifugo, tunahamasisha ulaji wa maziwa. Bwana Maliki ameamua kujenga kiwanda cha kukusanya maziwa yenu ili ayaweke katika hali mzuri ya kiafya, yalike, yawe na viwango, auze pia kwa wanakatavi, lakini pia kwa jirani wa Rukwa na majirani wote wanaotaka bidhaa hii.
Hundreds of residents from villages in Moshi District, Kilimanjaro region have received free oral and dental health care provided by specialists from Mawenzi Referral Hospital in that region, where many were discovered to have diseases caused by poor oral and dental hygiene as well as unhealthy diets.
Kwa sababu wengi hatuwezi kuafford huduma za hospitali. Vipimo vingi tunashindwa kuviafford.
We thought to take services closer to people for them to be aware of services provided, including preliminary checkups like high blood pressure, diabetes, dental and health advice.
Of course shida hii ni kubwa kwa sababu kila mgonjwa niliyemwona hapa.
The problem is huge because from many people that I have seen today, the problems are either cavities, gum swells, or disorganized teeth. In 100 people, 30 have cavities. That is why it is advisable for people to visit dentists at least twice a year.
Tunashauri watu aende kwenye hospitali au kumtembelea daktari wa meno angalau mara 2 kwa mwaka.
The Region Commissioner of Dar es Salaam, Amos Makala, has conducted an inspection tour of classrooms in Temeke district, where he directed the council to ensure construction of the classrooms are completed by December 30th this year.
Niwapongeze kwa kazi mlioifanya mpaka sasa. Swala letu ni usimamizi.
Let's pay attention on quality of these classrooms, regardless of the demand. Let's not forget that only quality classrooms are needed. All leaders must inspect and monitor the exercise closely.
Mheshimiwa Mkuu wa Mkoa, idadi ya wanafunzi wanaotakiwa kujiunga na shule ya awali.
A total of over 26,000 pupils are expected to join primary school in 2023. 23,000 people to join secondary school as well. 253 classrooms are needed for primary school. So far, the deficit is 170 classrooms.
Kujiunga na kidato cha kwanza jumla ni 23,000.
The ambassador of the United States in Tanzania, Donald Wright, has called on African countries to increase cooperation in solving challenges faced by young people that include lack of employment and opportunity to participate in planning and implementing issues that concern them. Ambassador Donald Wright said this at an African Youth Conference held in Arusha.
Out of looking at those demographics, we realized at the U.S. Embassy that we needed to invest heavily in youth development. We're thrilled to be a part of this leadership summit. I understand that they have representatives from over 40 countries in Africa here to become equipped and empowered to be the leaders of the future. And so we're thrilled to be a part of that. As far as typical programs that we are involved in currently that help the youth, it's across the landscape. We're heavily involved in health. If young people don't have good health, they're not going to be able to be productive, moving and impactful in their later years. There's a DREAMS program that targets young adolescent females and teaches them entrepreneurial skills, social skills, and is part of our PEPFAR program, trying to decrease the incidence of HIV among young adolescent females.
Kufaulu kwa Afrika ni kuleta vijana, pale tunasema decision making, pale participation ya political, na tuseme ni lazima vijana wawe at the center of planning.
Tumeanza kuwa na mpango wa kuongeza vituo mbalimbali vya kuwasaidia vijana kupata skili mbalimbali. Kwa hiyo kazi kubwa ni kuwajengea vijana uwezo katika uongozi, katika siasa, katika utamaduni, katika ujasiriamali na kadhalika, ili hatimaye wakitoka hapo waweze kusimamia wenyewe maisha yao, kusimamia uchumi na kadhalika.
And that is the end of national news. International news follows up next. Welcome back, and in international news. The United States aims to boost cooperation with African nations as President Joe Biden hosts dozens of regional leaders at the second U.S.-Africa Leaders Summit this week in Washington, D.C. The three-day summit, which starts on Tuesday, will focus on key challenges including the climate crisis, good governance, food security and global health, as well as bolstering U.S.-Africa trade and investment opportunities. 49 African heads of state and leaders, as well as the African Union, are attending the summit. Moving on, 3 cases opposing investigation of 4 former commissioners of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission (IEBC) in Kenya have been filed by 3 residents at the court in Meru County. The 3 are opposing investigation by a task force formed by President William Ruto to find out if the 4 had violated the Constitution during the August 9th general election this year, when the commissioners decided to isolate themselves from the election results.
Is that the Attorney General has raised a preliminary objection? That's right, Mr. Wazira?
Yes, my lord.
Has anybody else, Mr. Kiogora, raised a preliminary objection to your petition?
The tribunal has jurisdiction to only sit for 30 days.
Yes.
If this court stops the work of the tribunal, my lord.
Yes.
4 interested parties are sought to be removed from office are issues that were settled by the Supreme Court during the election petition, the presidential election petition. And my lord, we further submit that out of the PU and from this petition, it's clear that the 4 interested parties were never afforded a chance to defend themselves before the first respondent, that is the National Assembly.
Concerns are being raised in Germany about how far Russian sanctions and the subsequent cost of living crisis are creating a fertile ground for the country's populist far-right party, the Alternative for Germany, AfD, to regain lost political ground. Now, the fears comes as authorities last week arrested 25 suspected members of the far-right called Reich Citizens movement, who are allegedly plotting to overthrow the German government, and install a leader who had reportedly sought support from Russia. And that's the end of international news. Business news follows up next after this short break. We'll be right back. Welcome back, and in business news. The government has handed over 4 cotton and coffee industries to farmers from Mara Cooperative Union, Wamaku, and Pamba Mara Cooperative Union 26 years after the government stopped Mara Cooperative Union from overseeing production activities after failing to adhere to regulations.
Kama serikali tumeona kwamba hizi mali zinaendelea kuharibika.
As the government, we saw there is no need of holding on to these assets. They should rather be divided to groups that were formulated afterwards, including Mara Cotton and Mara Farmers.
Kilicholeta ufilisi ni kwa sababu chama cha Mara Cooperative Union.
Now, a big group of traders from Twara region who had planned to attend a trade exhibition in Komoro have not been able to travel for the event after the organization they claimed had said will cover transport and cargo costs decided to withdraw the support, a situation that has caused the traders' goods to spoil.
Tanga ya milioni moja nikakupa tikiti za milioni moja, nikakupa mananasi kutoka Ngonja mbali huko ya 800,000, nikakupa nani haya matango juzi tu kushinda jana ya 100,000, nikakupa embe za 200,000 ili nini tarehe 8 tarehe 9 naondoka kwenda Komoro. Sasa kama hivi matunda yameharibika, tukija hapa tunapata passport tujapata, biashara ile inaharibika.
Ni takwa la mfanyabiashara kuamua aende. Sisi tulitoa hiyo fursa kwa mtu mfanyabiashara yoyote kupeleka bidhaa Komoro. Anaendaje? Sisi jukumu letu lilikuwa kuwasaidia wale ambao hawana passport na kuhakikisha usafiri wa kutoka hapa kwenda Komoro. Hivyo sisi kwa nafasi yetu kama TCCIA tumevifanya. Wapo wengine ambao wameshaondoka Jumamosi. Wale ambao wana pesa, wao ambao hawajasafiri ni wale ambao walikuwa wanategemea facilitation kutoka kwenye taasisi za kifedha.
And Airtel Tanzania has partnered with Samsung Electronics to unveil the Samsung A04e smartphone in Tanzania. The partnership is part of Airtel's drive to increase the usage of the 4G technology network in the country.
Toka Airtel ni kwamba sisi tumezinogesha kwa kuhakikisha kwamba mwaka mzima inakuwa na bando ya bure ya GB 75 ambazo wewe Mtanzania ukinunua tu simu popote pale, aidha duka la Airtel au katika duka lolote la Samsung katika sehemu yoyote ambayo unaliona, basi utakuta likiwa na ofa hizo.
Nafahamu Airtel wana 4G network ambayo ina nguvu nzuri na kasi. Wameongeza hapo bando ambalo litakaa kwa mwaka mzima. Sasa kwa Samsung kwa ajili tuko tayari ni 4G enabled, kwa hiyo inarahisishia watu kupata experience bora kama unaangalia video, kama unaangalia social media kwa ujumla.
And that is the end of business news. Sports news follows up next. Welcome back, and in sports news. The semi-finals of the World Cup start tonight at 10 p.m. with Argentina playing Croatia. The game is very much awaited, one as the two teams have met 5 times, with both of them winning twice and one ending in a stalemate. Now, although the battle seems to be Lionel Messi and Luka Modric, the two most influential players in the teams, football fans should not sleep on the goalkeepers of both teams, Emi Martinez of Argentina and Dominic Ludovic, who are both great goalkeepers, especially in penalties. The 43 talented youth from the Magnet Academy are participating in a soccer clinic in South Africa. The youth had left the country yesterday for South Africa, accompanied with their coaches and parents.
We are at this clinic as organized by the Transitional Football, with the presence of coaches from Celtics FC of Scotland, who are, of course, conducting the clinic. We have 45 young players from Tanzania currently who are participating in this training.
45 kutoka Tanzania ambao wanashiriki training na wako na umri kuanzia miaka 16 kushuka chini.
Sports stakeholders in Ukerewe have urged the government to have a strategic plan which will help to identify talents in various competitions in order to develop the sports sector.
Ukerewe anapenda michezo. Tulikuwa na ligi daraja la 4, lakini tutaendelea.
Ukerewe citizens love sports. We had the 4th division games and we will have other bonanzas. We realized most of our people miss sports, so we will set different bonanzas to improve the talents, especially for the youth.
Vipya waweze kuendesha maisha yao kwa kutumia vipaji vyao kama wanavyofanya wengine akina Mbwana Samata.
The National Sports Council VMT has proceeded with its Sports for Societies program, this time providing training on athletes and volleyball in Mafinga Municipal Council in Iringa region. And that sports item ends our news bulletin for tonight. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. Thank you for watching and good night.
And get updated on what is happening in Tanzania and around the world on political, social, and economic issues and events, without forgetting business and sports news. You can get it all right here on Capital News at 9:30 from Monday to Friday on Zuku Channel 067, Digitech Channel 1103, and Facebook Capital Television Tanzania.
Sasa unaweza kutangaza biashara yako hapa ITV ukiwa popote